South LA is home to a vibrant community, full of people who offer us light and show the way for others through their craft, purpose, and activism. This is the community MLK Community Healthcare serves. Tonight, we'll be sharing stories of work and of healing, from the barber who does much more than cut hair to a chef who seeks to help others avoid the path he took. Along the way, we'll meet an icon in the arts who is welcoming talented and diverse young people into her world. A Hawthorne police officer imagining a different path for success with a girls' hockey team. A doctor who returned to his roots to serve his community at MLK-CH. They are lights in this community, and they are all part of one story, the story of South LA. Welcome to The Dream Show.
Mondays aren't always bright. Some days you lose the fight, but life can be beautiful if you let it be. Look up, do you see the sunlight? Look up.
I'm Nichelle Turner, host of Entertainment Tonight. On the weekend of Martin Luther King's birthday, I welcome you from the hospital that bears his name. It's a place Dr. King would be proud of. Its 5-star rating is part of his dream, a vision of equality in healthcare. MLK Community Healthcare's mission is to provide just that for South LA, and its work has just begun. Tonight, we celebrate this community, the people who shape its culture, and the stories that make it such a rich and vibrant place. We hope you'll want to learn more. We hope you'll be inspired to join MLK-CH in a radical act of social justice, delivering quality care to South LA. For more than 30 years, Debbie Allen has been an influential part of the LA community. With 3 Emmys, a Golden Globe, and a Kennedy Center honor, Debbie's talents expand across film, television, theater, and dance. But it's her passion for embracing young dancers that's her greatest contribution to our community. The Debbie Allen Dance Academy opened its doors over 20 years ago in South LA with the mission of giving young people of color a chance to grow and shine. Dada instills confidence and shapes minds and bodies.
You know, the word possibility is likely the most important word that we speak in this building and in the studios. If it's possible, that makes it so. It makes it so.
Our best. Faye, okay? And then, now these arms, I'm not sure about these arms.
I started the Debbie Allen Dance Academy with not even a nonprofit. I mean, just an idea. All it takes is an idea and some passion in your heart and a good reason. And then I had a line down the street for the first audition, like 500 kids, and I didn't even have a scholarship to give them. And I'm like, oh God, Norman. Norman looked at me, my husband was like, what? And so I funded the school myself, really, until we became a nonprofit.
This whole thing started because of Debbie. It started because of her experience growing up, you know, not being able to dance because of her color, all the limitations. So she had always said once she got to a point in her life, she wanted to create a place where anyone could come and dance, whether they had the financial ability to pay, regardless of their look, regardless of their cultural backgrounds.
Well, I have always known that dance is a transformative art, a healing art. What I see in my students, and they come from all over, and they're all very different. And we've had some that were very shy and in a little shell, and now they're blossoming and speaking out loud and expressing themselves, or some that were rambunctious and just disrespectful. And now, yes, Miss Allen, and can I get the door for you? And on time. The world of dance is a world of discipline, hard work, sweat, pain, but the ultimate joy when you are out there.
Who's on the right side? Raise your hand. Don't talk. Do not talk. Shh. Focus. Walk to place and go.
It's a different studio, it's a different culture, it's a different landscape. Miss Allen's heart is probably one of the biggest hearts I've ever come across.
Very nice.
And she's just so generous and so giving, and so loving to every child. And that environment of love is really what motivates me to bring my excellence, and I think the entire staff here, to hopefully educate and change the minds and bodies of these young, amazing little children.
So I think the exposure and the opportunities that the kids get here are incredible. And in most cases, they're opportunities that they would not have gotten if they weren't here, but opportunities that require them to be professional. So they can't go act like 7- and 8-year-olds when you're on a set or when you're in a Broadway theater. You got to get your spot.
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's a problem. This is a problem.
I think one of the best things about dance is that accountability and responsibility. And it can't start too young. You know, children at 5 years old, at 4 years old, can learn responsibility and accountability, and they should.
And penché, down, stay, stay, stay. Big leg up. No. Cheat right here. Here. Bang. Walk around. Walk around. Very nice. Walk around. Beautiful. And slowly let her down. Don't drop her. Yes! Yes. Good. That was so good. Okay, good girl. Okay.
And sharp, sharp, sharp. It's a straight leg in plie. To be a part of helping to equip this next generation with the tools to be empowered, to have self-respect and a loving environment, to grow and to be creative is really what I think children need to do. They need to have a place to have fun.
And I think that's one of the reasons we've been successful. All the different elements to create a space where they could come and just create. They can be carefree, but at the same time, learning essential skills that could also carry them throughout their lives.
My hope is that young people and people with ideas do not feel boundaries. And we say to the world, yes, we can. Yes, we will. And we're not asking, can we? We're doing it.
Barbershops aren't just a place to get a cut. They are little worlds unto themselves, a place where ideas and conversation flow freely. Barbers are at the center of those little worlds where they are part psychologist and trusted confidant, but most of all, they listen. Goose Davis at Legends Barbershop is a man who listened to the needs of his community and decided to make a difference. His shop serves as home to one of MLK Community Healthcare's most impactful programs, the Man Up Health Initiative. African American men have some of the highest cancer and diabetes rates in our nation. They are also distrustful of the healthcare providers. Man Up provides access to doctors and health screenings in a place where men feel comfortable, the barbershop. At Legends, a haircut and a health check makes for a perfect Sunday morning.
I've been a professional barber and hairstylist for like 25 years, have my own shop now for 23 years. And I still love getting into the shop and sharing that camaraderie with all the fellas and all the guys. And when I'm in the barbershop every day, I'm actually hearing what these guys want, what their needs are, what their fears are, and their dreams and aspirations. And I gotta tell you, it is pretty motivating to get up every day and that be my life. You know, that's what gets me up in the morning to get to the barbershop, because I'm being fed every single day.
Hey, my name is Brian Goose the Barber Davis. I'm just a regular bro myself. I'm just a barber with some gray hair, some locks in my head, that wants to make sure that I'm around for my family.
You know, as you get older and you eat all this stuff that you used to eat back in the day, you know, it's not, your body can't process it.
The barbershop is a special place because it's a pinnacle of the community. It is a place where men can get together, women too, but men can get together and feel safe. It's a place where men can actually exchange ideas freely. Once you get into the barbershop, you're not a doctor, you're not a police officer, you're not a chef or a cook. You're just a guy with like dreams and ambitions, right? It's a very personal thing to have someone in your hair and for you to be laid back and someone have this sharp object called a straight razor around your neck. And it requires a lot of trust, and it's very personal. If you don't get older, that means you're dead. I just don't want to be old and decrepit.
Right.
And so I want to get ahead of everything.
That's what I'm trying to do now. Look, I'm about to be 50 next year, so I'm like...
That was the thing that just kept coming up every time in my chair was, oh, I haven't been to the doctor. You know, why aren't they doing this? And it's because they're just afraid of the healthcare system. So I've just decided, okay, I'm going to figure out how to bring the healthcare system to them. Because of the relationships that the barbers have with their clients, it's actually kind of easy to say, well, hey man, like, listen, what about if I had somebody that could come talk to you here? Well, you don't have to go into like a doctor's office, fill out a whole bunch of forms, and believe it or not, a lot of guys were open to it. You know, I just wanted to, you know, have an opportunity in a place where guys feel safe.
Goose is trusted. Like Goose is, and barbers in general are trusted by the men in the community. And you know, if Goose trusts me, like by extension, like, you know, men were likely to, or more likely to be able to trust what I have to say to them.
And so I don't believe that we're just here to make money and to, or in my position as a barber, just to cut hair. Like, I'm required to make a difference somehow and to volunteer and do something to help better the community. I'm required to do that.
And so by creating a program where we reach out through barbershops, men already go there, right? And it was a place where we could interact with men where it was on their terms rather than on ours in our clinic.
Man, we're doing some health screenings for the brothers that's coming into the shop today, my man. So,
okay.
Blood pressure, got some information out there about your health. And,
Yeah.
So you're checking it out, I presume, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
126/71. This is a good number. You want to stay close to 120/80 is like a normal blood pressure. Coming into a barbershop where you're comfortable and have an open conversation about what's going on with you, and they're more able to check here.
It's been great working with Goose. I mean, I think that Goose embodies kind of what we've been aiming to create in terms of this community partnership. You have someone who 100% committed to the broader community and sees his role not just as a barber, but like as, I don't know, every guy's best friend. It's people like Goose who make this program what it is.
Hopefully it starts the conversation of men in our community being more proactive about their health instead of reactive.
Absolutely. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah, man. It's just sort of my passion project. And that's why I'm here, because I'm like, where can I serve the community?
For those of you watching at home, I hope you'll join us by making a gift in support of quality health care for South LA. Text DREAM to 202-949-5684 or hold your camera over the QR code on the screen. There are people and organizations that can truly be defined as agents of change. Nicole Steele and the Social Justice Learning Institute fit this definition perfectly. From an early age, Nicole realized that her community lacked access to healthy food. Her dream was to fix this. So today, Nicole works as the Director of Health Equity at SJLI in South LA. Her mission is to educate and empower the next generation to enact social change. Through education and support of the youth in her community, Nicole and her partners are shining a light for all who want healthy food.
You put your hands in the soil, you connect with plants, it calms you. It allows you to focus better in the classroom. It encourages you to try more foods. So seeing our students in the garden, being curious about worms and roly-polies and, what's a radish and, I didn't know this grew that way, that is just a magical, magical thing. The Social Justice Learning Institute is a small nonprofit based in Inglewood. Our mission is to improve the education, health, and well-being of youth and communities of color. We are here to make sure that our youth are using their own agency and recognizing their power to change their communities. Everyone needs to eat. As a human, we all know what it feels like to be hungry, and we know when you eat certain foods, you set your body up to function a certain way. So in communities like Inglewood, where we find densely populated areas, lots of built environments, we find a plethora of access to foods that are high in calories, low in nutrition. If we only have choices that feed us in those ways, we see that the health outcomes in those particular zip codes are different than health outcomes where you see more green space and their farmers market. So when we started to recognize that that was a pattern across our communities, and we see health disparities based on zip codes, based on income level, based on the color of your skin, it's like, well, at what point do we say, we see what's happening, we need you all to change it, and in the meantime, here are some solutions that our community has come up with to do that.
Many families are working 2 and 3 jobs to provide for multi-generational households, and it's a challenge. So what Social Justice Learning Institute does, by bringing in reliable, fresh produce, vegetables, it's really important. The work that they're doing, it's beyond equity. It's really recognizing someone's humanity and the worthiness that a person has with food.
So right now we are counting up some mangoes and we're counting up some lettuce boxes. And then Paul's continuing to grab a couple things off the trunk. We have some cabbage over here, so it's a little bit of a mixed produce item. So that's what we'll generally use to fill the bags that we're giving away to our community members.
Some food goes to certain communities that looks a certain way and is a certain quality. Other food gets into other communities. But a lot of that food gets wasted. 40% of that food just goes right into the trash can because the apples aren't red enough or someone changed their menu all of a sudden. So we've been able to partner with Food Forward. We bring that food right into our community and are able to give it to folks for free.
First bag! Yay!
The people that come to pick up are a variety of folks. We have agencies like mutual aid organizations, churches, folks that serve the houseless population that will come in their vehicle and pick up bulk amounts of food. So we'll fill up their truck, fill up their back seat, and then they can go and take and serve their folks.
Nicole is one of the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. She is absolutely everything, right? As far as making sure the community is fed, making sure everyone has what they need. Nicole is a very impactful person in the community who genuinely cares. It's so hard to find somebody who genuinely cares, and we just love being with her.
Social Justice Learning Institute is a resource. It is a concrete life raft.
and they're right here in a community where people can walk down the street and get what they need. The integrity of someone's humanity is supported by making certain that they have food without any judgment.
We have a whole education equity side of the Social Justice Learning Institute that very specifically deals with young Black boys in school, but boys of color at large. You may come to us because you have a need, but then what we try to do is envelop you and encourage you to, now that you've gotten what you need and you can thrive and not just survive, what kind of changes do you want to see in your community? How can you change things so that people don't need this the way that you did? And then we're going to help you, take that social change into action.
I've been working with Nicole for a very long time now, where we've been giving out to the community fruit trees, starting gardens, and just giving fresh produce to the community. I grew up eating burgers and stuff like that, not really knowing the difference between fresh produce and regular food. I wouldn't even tell if something was bad. I used to be like, it just don't smell good. But now I'm able to tell the difference. I'm able to plant gardens. I'm able to do the stuff because of my understanding of the food development and how things work, how it grows, and it's actually broadened my horizon in the kitchen. So I'm actually a better cook because of it as well.
Food is way more than just something that we eat. It is political, right? It is cultural. It is a matter of equity. It is a matter of justice. And one of the things I had in mind when I started this programming was that if people start asking, what's the deal with my food? What's the deal with what you're feeding my children? What's the deal with what I'm putting in my body and how it's connecting to the rest of my life? They're gonna start asking a lot more questions. What I want is for them not to only be able to ask the questions, but then to be able to tell their story and advocate for the changes that they want to see based on what they're learning. So yeah, this is way bigger than food.
When Amanda Gorman captured the nation's attention with her inaugural poem, The Hill We Climb, she asked each of us to be the light. The South LA community she grew up in, my community, offers many responses to her call. I'm Holly Mitchell, supervisor for the 2nd District of Los Angeles County, stretching from Compton to Koreatown, Willowbrook to Manhattan Beach. And on this weekend that we celebrate the legacy of Dr. King, I offer you a special welcome to South Los Angeles, home of MLK Community Healthcare. We're proud of the many lights that show the way for others in South LA and beyond. From entrepreneurs to artists, business owners to nonprofit leaders, the stories in the Dream Show inspire all of us to do more. So enjoy the rest of your visit to the district I am proud to represent. It's sure to be memorable.
Through every unique stage of life, from birth, through ups and downs, to the golden years, empowering, inspiring, and supporting Angelenos. For 25 years, your health journey has been at the heart of our mission. Together yesterday, today, and tomorrow. LA Care Health Plan, 25 years strong.
Keith Corbin has lived many lives already. Growing up in the Jordan Downs housing project taught him how to survive through pain and loss and defeat. The man he is today is deeply connected to the kid he was there. Every day left a mark. Today, Chef Corbin gives others a different way to go about making a life. He gives them a different path to walk. He brings others up with him. Chef Corbin is one of LA's most celebrated chefs. At Alta Adams, patrons delight in his culinary magic, but the special magic, the light, is happening back in the kitchen among staff who are learning that second chances are possible.
I didn't discover farmers markets till I was about 37 years old. You have the onion garlic mix today?
I got it like this, $3, 2 for $5.
I'll take 2. I've been doing it for 4 years now. Same people, know the quality, know the farmers, know the workers. Very intentional who we spend our money with, who I spend my money with. Make sure that our values align. I'm gonna get 24.
Great, do you wanna come back here and choose?
When I got exposed to the farmer's market, it made me think about what my granny could have created had she had access to these ingredients. Then I started to think about all the stereotypes about our food that we create, soul food, comfort food being the #1 contributor to our health problems. And I realized by being at the farmer's market, it's not the food, it's the lack of resources and access we have in our community that our parents had to use to cook the food. I grew up in Watts, grew up in the Jordandale housing projects and the surrounding community. We didn't have much to go off of. You know, parents on drugs, grandmother raised me. I thought I had a rich childhood. 711 apartment units or project units when no one locked the doors. So you were able to go in and out of every house. It was one big old family. So it wasn't until I got older that I realized, wow, like I really was at a disadvantage. But as a child, I didn't know. I served a total of 10 years in prison from 2003 to 2014. It's sad to admit that growing up, the rate that people I've seen in my life going to prison, it just felt unavoidable. You know, that prison was a destination on my path. It wasn't until my 3rd time coming home that I decided that I want to do something different. But what does that look like? The kitchen has been a common thread in my life. My granny, all she did was cook. And to spend time with her was to spend time with her in the kitchen. Watching her cook and her love for cooking and her love in feeding the community is what she instilled in me. I get fulfillment. I love feeding people. This is not a business where you get rich, right? This is a business of passion. That's what I'm in it for. I love cooking, and I know the importance of opportunity and long-term support in that opportunity. So I hire formerly incarcerated. I hire folks that come from underserved communities. You never worked in the kitchen before? I got you.
I see it every day with him pushing that envelope towards other people, you know? Like he got to this point and got through that door, and now he's opening that door for everyone else. He encourages us to hire people that might not have experience, because the reason they don't have that experience is because no one's given it to them. He definitely like practices what he preaches.
This is for the folks that can't get a job anywhere and need someone who come from where they come from to have empathy through the process to be able to long-term support them. I know who I'm teaching, I know who I'm training, I know who I'm giving opportunity to because I was them. I was them, so how can I not extend the same hand that was extended to me, shall I say?
A lot of these guys come from different backgrounds of like trauma and trials and tribulations. Some of our workers, they're not hustling anymore and stuff like that. It's like they're here, they're ready to work and they care. And that is like amazing that you can like shift somebody's mindset like that. You can have something steady and you can be safe. That community, family means a lot.
Am I happy in this junction of my life? Absolutely. This place will never make me rich. It makes me rich on the inside. We always look, how can we change lives and bring people up, right? So, yes, I'm happy for that. Absolutely.
Let's go. Made a promise from me and you, and I plan to keep it. I made a promise to all the fam, and I plan to keep it. I made a promise to all my friends, and I plan to keep it. I made a promise to mankind, and I plan to keep it. I will see you through.
One of the biggest challenges facing South LA is a critical shortage of doctors. Our community has 10 times fewer physicians and far worse health outcomes than more affluent neighbors. This year, MLK-CH Community Healthcare started to change that by launching a medical residency program. The inaugural class of 5 internal medicine residents includes one resident who's returning to serve the community he grew up in. Casey Charlton was raised in Inglewood, attended medical school in Arizona, and is now back in South LA looking to make a difference and be a light for a community he knows well.
I grew up in Los Angeles, California. I was born in Inglewood. I lived in a really small house at that time in Inglewood, and my dad and my mom, they really worked really hard. Watching my dad's day-to-day flow of him going to work, of him making sacrifices, it just really speaks to, the fact that nothing is impossible in this world, You really got to believe in yourself and have faith every single moment, and I really felt like my parents had that.
Yeah,
Now, how long are you going to be in ICU?
It's going to be about 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks,
Yeah.
okay.
This will be a good experience. The reason why I wanted to primarily work in the underserved population is just kind of the experiences I had growing up. And I just saw the effects of poor healthcare, really. I certainly do think I can relate more, specifically the fact that I grew up in this area. When I would get on the bus, I would see the effects of just a population that feels like they haven't been cared for, or a population that felt like they were forgotten. A lot of times people just need someone to listen to, They know what to do, they know what they should be doing, but they want someone to feel how they've been feeling. They want someone to understand that. And once you internalize that and they realize that you've internalized that, it does something for them. It really does. Listening is the #1 thing that shows that you care. So having someone that's willing to listen to you, it can mean everything.
So I think Casey is uniquely positioned, given his background, to understand some of the challenges that our patients face. I've watched him interact with patients and have discussions about their diet and their diabetes, and I think that they can relate and might put a little bit more trust in him, understanding that he knows the culture and where they're coming from.
He really wanted to come back to the place that he grew up. He wanted to give back to the community. He wanted to improve the care that his community got by having him come here. And so having him be a part of our residency, our inaugural class, is great because being from Inglewood, Casey can connect. Casey can really advocate for his patients in a way that I might not understand or know. So studies show that patients look towards their doctors, and if they are of the same area, same color, and look like them, the patient's care will improve and they'll want to be more invested in their care because they believe in this doctor.
I think it's important to have a residency program at a hospital like MLKCH because we need to fill the physician gap. We want to train people who will stay here and practice and want to provide quality care regardless of a patient's ability to pay. So having doctors that are trained here and understand the system is really integral for filling that physician gap.
And studies have shown that when you teach residents, your chances of burnout are 25% less. And so that's great also for the physicians here because, in a sense, they're giving back to teaching. They're giving back to what they became doctors for. They're teaching their patients, but they're also teaching a new generation of learners and young doctors.
A part of history, Technically, I'm the first African-American resident to the new hospital, so that means a lot to me to be able to contribute to the culture that we're developing here. So I feel like it's a perfect area to train because you're gonna see the effects of someone that hasn't been to a doctor on a regular basis, that hasn't trusted their doctor. You're gonna deal with a lot of the complications of disease processes, so it's gonna make you a great doctor.
Hello.
Hi, ¿cómo estás? How are you doing?
Doing good, sir.
All right. How's your day been going so far today?
I'm doing good, sir.
I think one of the main differences I notice between MLKCH and other places I've been has been the desire to make a difference. We have a lot of people who've been here for a long time and have no intentions of going anywhere, and you feel that. So I think it's almost like the sense of home.
I think I'm more of just a loving person, and wherever love is needed, I want to be there. You know, when someone is talking to you or a patient is talking to you and they're a little aggravated and frustrated, just taking a moment to listen to that and provide that sympathy or empathy to them, you know, honestly, that may be all they need. Let me just dive in and feel what this person's feeling right now and really understand what exactly they've been going through. Honestly, that's probably the funnest part about this job for me, really relating to people and really understanding how they're feeling.
It's the staff at MLKCH that make the hospital and its clinics in the community special. You can support them by making a gift today. Text DREAM to 202-949-5684 or hover your camera over the QR code on the screen. Akil West has become a fixture of the South LA community. His spirit and quest for success is an encouraging roadmap for others. After 15 years of incarceration, Akil decided it was his life's mission to make sure others knew how to make life as an entrepreneur and achieve success on their own merits. Soul Folks opened 2 years ago with exactly this purpose in mind: a store for Black designers to create and sell goods their way by their means. As inspiring as Akil's story is, it just became bigger. 2 months ago, Akil teamed up with other merchants in the historical Leimert Park area to buy the building that Soul Folks resides in. Their collective purchase prevented future gentrifications and expanded Akil's role from entrepreneur to owner and community leader, a light for others.
To further the role of Black ownership in this community is very important. We just had a dream and an idea, and we believed that we can make it happen because we thought our story was important.
For other folks in the Black community to see how we can come together and form an entity to make sure that we're not displaced, to fight gentrification within our communities and, you know, uplift and really work together.
Man, it's legacy. It's ownership, it's empowering. You know, that's a great word to also describe Akil, to be honest. Like, he's definitely about empowering individuals, providing opportunities, and that's what that does. This gives us an opportunity to have something that we can share and be a part of and create our own legacies through these opportunities that Akil is planting in the community.
My name is Akil West. I'm the founder and the CEO of Soul Folks. I'm originally from New Orleans, but I came to the Leimert Park area when I was 12 years old. And I would see a lot of Black business owners, from jazz to coffee houses, clothing stores, gift shops in this area. I know what that did for me, so I wanted to be that conduit for the next generation, to kind of give them a sense of where to go, you know. I ended up getting into some trouble, ended up going to prison. I did about 15 years, but while I was in prison, I would meet a lot of young kids who, you know, desired to open up their own business. So some of them would find out through the grapevine that I had businesses and restaurants and things of that nature, so they would come and talk to me. What's up, man? You're the Leimert Park Prince, man. You play every instrument. Thank you, my brother.
He has a very big personality. He definitely is a person that knows what he wants. He needs to listen. He's stubborn because he knows what he wants. But I also think that he's very conscious individual that really wants to impact community and change.
I just understood the entrepreneurial spirit of these young incarcerated men. And so when I came home, I knew that if I created a place that was geared towards sneakers and fashion and ownership, that I probably can catch their attention.
Soul Folks is a store that focuses solely on Black brands, creators, and entrepreneurs. It came from an idea of just being a sneaker store. We have no stipulations on what type of product it is. It could be anything. We have books here, we have candles, we have jewelry, we have clothing, socks, pretty much everything that you could think of when you go into a retail space. In general, the program is an incubator to the brands that are new. We get a lot of never sold an item before.
Akil opened up the back as a hub for us at the Soul Folks Lab last year. I was able to expand my business and bring in factories and expand also my vision of what I wanted to create, what we now know as the Thread House Project. That's given me the opportunity to help empower more designers and more individuals in the community through the Soul Folks platform.
I see Soul Folks as the beacon of light as well as the prototype for other businesses. My entrepreneurial style is a little different because I'm coming from a nonprofit standpoint. I'm not trying to make money off of the product that's inside the store, but the doors are still open because we make enough money to pay rent and we pay staff and we're almost just providing a service. And sometimes it's not about getting rich, it's about making sure that everybody eats. And when you understand that communities over everything concept that we like to preach, everything else will come.
So we are here to celebrate and honor an historic purchase that was just completed.
Today we're celebrating the purchase of this building. It's being in the hands of people that didn't look like us, and the brothers from this complex got together with some help from some philanthropy people as well as some institutions, and we actually closed on the building Monday, and today is Thursday, and we decided to celebrate with the community, friends, and family.
We were very fortunate in a whole lot of hard work done by a whole lot of people that pulled it together where we ended up being owners of the building, and we all happen to be African American. And we're in a neighborhood that is the center of African American culture in LA.
For our community, being able to see that this happened, we've been operating from a glass half empty. I think this is like a glass half full situation. It's giving hope. I think it's going to ignite the rest of Los Angeles and other places to do the same.
Reverend Kelly Douglas Brown is a priest, a theologian, and the inaugural dean of the Episcopal Divinity School at Columbia's Union Theological Seminary. She is known throughout the country as a leader in Dr. King's tradition, using faith as a path to change. Her life has been devoted to the advancement of social justice. This year marks the 60th anniversary of Dr. King's seminal speech, I Have a Dream. Reverend Douglas's remarks reflect on our progress and remind a new generation of the work that still lies ahead.
It was a hot Wednesday afternoon in August. My brother, 2 sisters, and I were playing in our bedrooms while my parents were sitting on the living room couch watching something on TV. Out of nowhere, with a sense of urgency, my mother called the 4 of us to come quickly to see what they were watching. We all ran in, not quite knowing what to expect. When we got there, my parents told us to sit down and watch because, as they said, history was being made. I remember watching and wondering why so many people were all standing in the hot sun listening to a man give a speech. My then 6-year-old mind was not actually taking in what he was saying, but what I was taking in was my parents' reactions to his words. Both were silent. Both were clearly moved by this man's speech.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty, we are free at last!
We will mark the 60th year anniversary of this history-making event on August 28th, for it was in 1963 at the March on Washington where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. seized the American imagination with his dream for this nation, with his dream for its people, with his dream for a beloved community. Before his death in 1968, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. remarked that while the nation had come a long, long way in its quest for the beloved community of his dream, it still, he said, had a long, long way to go. To be sure, this nation has come a long, long way. And then there is the matter of health care. Of all the forms of inequality, injustice in health care is the most shocking and inhuman because it often results in physical death, said Martin Luther King Jr. in 1966. And so, perhaps just as significant as all of the various gains for civil rights was the health care reform that emerged from the civil rights movement, as people have come to recognize that health care is not simply a civil right, it is a human right. Yes, yes, indeed, we have come a long, long way since Dr. King shared his dream some 60 years ago. Yet, we truly still have a long, long way to go to make that dream a reality. And there has been nothing that has made that fact more clear than the convergence of the two pandemics, that of COVID-19 and white supremacy, which, given the comorbidities such as poverty with its concomitant realities of inadequate housing, inadequate employment, inadequate educational and health care opportunities, have left Black and Latinx communities disproportionately vulnerable to the ravages of COVID-19 itself. And so here we are, 60 years after that history-making day in 1963, 60 years later, with Black people protesting for Black lives to matter as the civil rights, voting rights, and even human rights that King fought for and dreamed of appear more fleeting and fragile than ever. And so what are we to say? Where are we to find that light of hope that is King's dream? My friends, that light of hope is to be found in the resolve and in the resistance to make that dream a reality. Perhaps our children and their children and their children's children will know a future where dreams of justice do come true, a future of a beloved community where all who were created will be treated as the sacred human beings that they are. May it be so.
At MLK Community Healthcare, we believe that every patient, regardless of ability to pay, deserves the highest quality health care. Want to be a part of the change we're making in South LA? Join us. Visit mlkch.org. Adolescence marks one of the most crucial times in a young girl's life. It's the time values and goals are established, self-confidence instilled. Lamika Bell recognized that and started the Power Project in response. A Hawthorne police detective for more than 25 years, Lamika uses ice hockey, a sport that has historically lacked diversity, to show young girls that they can be anything they want to be, including a girl who can learn to skate and compete on the ice and off.
I didn't know at the time that hockey was, traditionally an all-white sport. Till we started getting into it, and I was like, ooh, there's not a lot of, minority players here. Hockey is a very expensive sport. So if you wake up and you go, okay, I want to be a hockey player, it's not easy. And so that's when I was like, you know what? let's do something about that. Let's change that.
So the whole Inception and Power Project was a crazy idea that Lamika came up with. And like I said, Lamika, she's that person out there that will just come up with these ideas out of nowhere. She could be sitting there trying to multitask, and all of a sudden she'll shout something out, and you'll look at her like, what's wrong with you?
So I was sitting in my office and I was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be amazing to start a group for just girls, you know, minority girls, and teach them how to play ice hockey?
At first I thought she was like, oh my goodness, a big police officer, is she gonna hurt me? But then when I got to hang out with her, we went on all these cool field trips, and I saw like how she really was and how nice and how a fun person.
There you go, ma'am. Have a good day.
She's probably the most caring person I've ever met, because she is someone that honestly and genuinely does care about other people. She truly does believe in this program and mentoring these girls to become strong women.
You know, a lot of girls from this side of town, you know, they don't hang out in ice rinks. You know, a lot of people have never even stepped on the ice, you know, but once you do that and you can conquer that, you know, and you learn how to ice skate, you learn how to do something you never thought that you would do, you know, wow, what else can I do?
I remember the first day when I went, it was really scary for me. I remember my dad just saying, come on, it's okay, go on the ice. And then I was just like, no, please don't make me go on there. And he's like, it's gonna be fine. And I remember the first time I went on the ice, I started crying a bit.
I don't think anybody takes to hockey like a fish in water, because it's not an easy sport to play at all. Ice skating is difficult for everybody, and that's something that I keep telling the kids that don't know how to skate. And it really is like baby steps. And I just tell them like, hey, you didn't know how to walk before. Now you can run, right? This is the same thing with hockey.
So of course, at first I was scared, but now every time I go on the ice, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I have my helmet, my gloves, my stick. We're gonna go on that ice. We're gonna skate like never before, and just like, I'm ready to rock this.
I know that you're a Here we go, goalies, get ready. Rapid fire. Everywhere you go. And shoot. There we go, nice. Amani, go for it. There you go, nice shot.
I love being on the ice. They all love being on the ice. Same time, too, they're playing a sport that they're not used to, and it just kind of grows on them, and they like it, they enjoy it.
Welcome. I'm so glad that everybody was able to come out this morning. Can you guess what we got going on today?
Some of the issues that South LA comes, when we're talking about financial instability, food insecurities, and then ultimately the self-esteem issue. So having a support system for inner city young women is critical. It's teaching them about being resilient. It's also building an environment that's more inclusive of them. And so Lamika is most definitely creating that environment where peers and teamwork and collaboration is all a part of getting you where you want to be at in life.
A lot of these kids are shy. They're real quiet-spoken. A lot of these girls, they don't know anything outside of Hawthorne. And you see within the first couple years that that girl you saw the first day isn't the same girl. She's now confident, and she's eager to go out there and do things and to be more involved.
How was school?
It was good. We had a test in science, but I think I crushed it.
Serious?
Yeah.
All right.
When she started, she was very quiet. Believe it or not, she was very quiet. And then during class time, she was just like a flower that just blossomed. And then she would start to talk. She got to open up. The more comfortable she got with us, the more, you would see this personality come out. And it was amazing. We love her.
I'm seeing Amani coming to light as far as being a little bit
willing to take a lot more chances, and I'm seeing that drive that she gets when she gets on the ice. There's less fear of certain things, and I think she's got a lot more confidence.
Pass. Nice, there you go. All right, ready, go.
I love hockey because it's a very untraditional sport for a lot of girls my age, but it's a great way to bond and get to know my peers.
It encourages team building and community.
I love to play hockey because it's fun to play and I get to see all my friends.
You learn how to do something you never thought that you would do. You know, wow, what else can I do? And then now you belong to this team. You know, you belong to this family. That's one thing I love about hockey. It's like one big family, you know, and once you're into that family, it could be a beautiful thing.
We've shared one unforgettable hour as we shined a light on South LA. The people who inspire us here are making a path for all of us. So let's make sure we walk with them. Let's make sure they have access to services, to doctors, to the compassionate care that provides. Join us here at MLK Community Healthcare. Be a part of our family, our story of hope and healing. Together, we can shine a brighter path forward for health in South LA. Learn more about our work and how you can get involved by visiting mlkch.org. May health and resilience carry us all forward.
Beautiful if you let it be. Tomorrow keeps taunting you with all kinds of mystery. It's a blank page for your poetry if you let it be. So don't tell yourself it's raining. The clouds are in your head. You tell yourself it's better to jump before you fall again, before you lose it all again. Look up, do you see the sunlight? Look up, there's flowers in your head. Hold on, there's somebody loves you. You know trouble's always gonna be there. Don't let it bring you to your knees, yeah. Look up. Sometimes your life feels like a broken roller coaster, 1,000 useless moving parts. Look up, do you see the sunlight? Look up, there's flowers in your head. Hold on, 'cause somebody loves you. You know trouble's always gonna be there. Don't let it bring you to your knees, yeah. Look up. Trouble's always gonna be